Oh my goodness, we're back in the anime.
Just really enjoying all that. What is happening?
I don't know, but I'm concerned and disturbed.
Little hands! Oh my god, they were like forks.
Oh wait, have we just jumped ahead to here?
Yeah, I guess so.
This is wild. We didn't...
Did you open on episode 3 of this arc?
I'm so... This is 7, right?
Yeah, episode 7 of season 1.
Wow.
Oh, they just have skipped that, and we're doing a flashback.
This is wild.
Flashback.
I mean, I guess we did have the phone call.
I guess so.
They just didn't introduce it there.
It's very weird. Like,
How
I'm just saying,
strange.
If we had spent a whole damn week between the last episode and this one, I would have no clue what's going on. I'd be like, who's missing?
Well, that'd be really foolish
I
of you.
guess is the point. Yeah, watching it in the intended way that it was released, yeah, that'd be crazy. What's that? Is that butterfly again? You know.
There's nothing intended about this. Everything is accidental and unplanned.
Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa.
Look, that moment where Rena's face pops up and her hair does a little doobie-doobie, that's like the best animated part of this whole damn show. What it is, Rena's getting the exact amount of time she needs. Just saying.
I don't agree.
That's what she deserves.
None of this is okay.
We should do a sing-along.
No.
Why not?
I don't want to.
It'd be so much fun, though.
Holy crap, is that
Sing along the
Keiichi
whole
watering the plants?
Oh, another flashback.
Oh my gosh.
Suddenly it's like knives and flashbacks. This is great.
Why don't we just start in Arc 8 and flashback from there?
Dude, that'd be great. Just show the finale.
Is he fucking blind? How long has she been there for? Why is everyone in this show blind of characters that are less than 5 feet away from them?
Because they're stationary beings.
Yeah, Keiichi, did you do something bad?
Did you break in at the little pig's house and blow down their house?
Man, I sure do hate it when there's
things?
wind. I'm just disappointed that the anime hasn't had, like, literal words appear on his face yet. Just think about how many paragraphs went by in Keiichi's head in that time when the wind was blowing by.
About 20 minutes of monologue.
My throat's hurting just imagining it.
Oh, my God. Wow, this is still going. There's still more hair. There's a lot of hair blowing in this show. That's where the budget went. Rika's hair.
Just entirely. That's so weird. That entire dialogue is like the same metaphor, but just not getting to the same point.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah. It's Rena's house. Rena's got bars on her windows.
Why does Rena have bars on her windows? And why did we
So she can't
introduce
escape.
this through her being in the shower?
Because the kids
Fuck
need Rena.
you,
side boob,
Studio
okay?
Dean.
I don't know. Dean is a bunch of perverts. Ruining her purity, honestly.
I agree, for once. For one thing you've said about Rena.
Dean is ruining Rena's purity, and she needs that. It's like her number one quality.
I've stopped agreeing with you because it just got weird.
As things should.
Well, don't just yell when there could be murderers around.
Would you really expect there to be a murderer, like, in your home village?
Okay, Ben, it's a village where there has been 4 consecutive years of murders, and someone has just disappeared.
Spiritual disappearance, not necessarily murders. One person dies or one person disappears. It's spirits and shit. Here we go. God. Now pay attention.
Oh. Ugh, yikes. Yikes.
And it's just the same animation back and forth.
Man,
Dean,
that is...
I love you.
That is extraordinarily disappointing. That was perhaps one of the most interestingly described visuals in the VN, talking about how her eyes became like molten liquid.
Yeah.
But instead, her face has just become gelatin. It's not really quite as, convincing a description, is it?
No.
I'd never really thought about it, but Rena does in fact wear, like, shin-high boots.
Yeah.
Is that in the VN?
Yeah. I mean, he never drew, like, the feet.
He never actually drew the full sprites?
No, I don't think so.
Really? I swear I've seen some. Maybe they were, like, fan-added.
I think they were fan edits.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't draw
Renner is just
shoes.
completely gearing up to be, like, a late 90s punk.
Yeah, dude. She's ready to rebel. She's out in the streets, dude.
The only thing she needs
She's
is
throwing
laces the whole way up the front of them.
Look, Rena has impeccable fashion sense. If there's one thing I'll say about her, one singular positive quality.
Her detective work seems a lot less like impressive
In this
in this presentation.
Yeah.
Like the whole confronting Mion at the end or Shmion at the end of Watanagashi was like such a what the fuck moment. This is just like, oh, I guess she's paying attention to things we were never shown.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a fucking big soy sauce bottle.
Yeah, dude.
Holy crap.
She's ready to drink soy sauce.
Excellent question, Rana.
俺は犯人じゃない。
What? No! Did you see that? Why are they here?
I definitely did see that.
Why are the police here for you? I'm not the culprit.
I don't necessarily think you're the culprit. However, unnecessarily, I do think you're the culprit.
I think there's a non-zero chance that you are the culprit, you see.
It was already a rumor by the next day. That's not credible evidence, you git. How long have you had this job?
シオンは病院を知らない。
Here he goes, Keiichi Big Brain.
Galaxy Boy!
That's the one.
Wow.
Okay.
You know, of course that's what happened. Of course we just did the punch
They
in.
just do that every time.
It stops being funny.
It's predictable. Guys, come on.
It's terrible.
Dean, come on. You do better than this. I know you're just one guy
Just
working
literally
out
one
of his
person.
mother's basement, trying to do the best he can, stealing radio station computers to
That's
record
exactly
shit,
it.
You know, you can do better, Dean. I believe in you.
Me too. What's this? Is this the source thing?
Well, this is a coincidence.
Well, now we're taking credit away from Rena being a genius.
We are, because it's just a random note that popped up.
In fairness, the original note, I believe, was in a tip, so we needed to put it in somehow.
It's true. It's true.
So this is all right.
What happened to like the ingredients and the whatever? It doesn't matter. She's like, "How dare you do that to Keiichi?
We're going in anyway."
In we go.
Really, he's just such a good guy. Such
Yeah.
an upstanding young gentleman.
So good that he's gonna get heckin' murdered because that's what he always does.
Fucking hurry up and get murdered, Keiichi.
Come on, dude. There's only 10 minutes left in the episode.
What's the line from Harry Potter where it's like, someone might think you're up to something?
That's the one. Up to something, Potter. Yeah. We love Snape. We love that boy.
That's what Mion's like in this scene.
Shmion, you mean?
Yeah. I'll never get it right.
Remember you solved this, right? Remember that was a thing? Yeah.
It's all right. She's asking to be called by that name. I can respect that.
That's true. It's true.
Wow, this is a lot more intense than I imagined this reaction being. Are they trying to carry across the, like, formication theme here? Or are they just trying to make us seem fucking crazy?
I think it's the latter. I'll be honest. Otherwise, it'd be the finger or the wrist scratching, right?
Yeah.
She's just running her fingers through her hair. Like she's stressed. Trying to pull her hair out.
Do it.
It's time for the old bait and switch.
Fucking...
The gamble of a lifetime.
You see, Rena's saying there's no need to show it at all makes a lot more sense when she's in a full robe and would have had to have just completely
Yes.
exposed herself.
Yes.
I think that was actually a much smarter decision than a
the
t-shirt.
shirt, yeah. He deserves it.
What
honestly.
happened to the fucking stun gun?
There is no stun gun here.
That's shit. Oh my goodness, it's just about strange o'clock.
Time to get a PB&T.
Things are getting a little bit weird. Still the best joke you've ever made, Ben.
Thank you.
It's all downhill from there. Okay, what is with the proportions there?
She's so much smaller.
His
But her
chest is
chest
like
is huge.
6 feet wide.
Oh, it's amazing. She's so much smaller than him, although her boobs are like bigger than his head.
But like, look at how wide his chest is.
No, I know. It's insane.
That's some Kylo Ren shit right there.
Oh my god. And then she pranced off into the woods like a gazelle.
Dude, did you see that product placement?
What product was it?
Uishi's getting some fucking big advertising bucks from this franchise.
Oh my god, so should we.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something to say about, like, these past couple of episodes that we haven't just said about the series in general already. Because, like, a lot of it's just the same pacing complaints, but, like, it's still cohesive enough that I don't think it's a major problem.
No, I mean, it still conveys the story. It doesn't, like, do it as, like, introspectively
Yeah.
as the VN does, which is, I think, to its detriment. but it also has the bonus of not being so fucking long. So like, take your pick. The like main objective complaints that we have is like the animation, which is clearly choppy at best.
Yeah.
Like the close-up shots are great, but when characters like talking and having conversations, they're just really boring to look at.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's also that, you know, even though the story probably could have been like twice as long in the anime and still been like at a good, you know, consumable pace. I do wonder, especially when you look at what Dean did with Fate's Stay Night, where they like crammed all 3 into one season as the same arc.
Why?
Like, this is still a lot more faithful than they did for that.
For sure.
And, you know, I'm glad that we at least got this rather than the alternative, which would be do one timeline where everything happens.
Oh no. I mean, that's a problem with a lot of adaptations, that they just try to cram everything in. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I know Little Buses, despite being like pretty good to look at, like there's a poppin', like the colors really pop on that show, and the jokes are pretty good, but they try to cram all of the different like arcs into the same continuation.
Yeah.
And part of the like appeal of the visual novel is it's like, it's a romance. Like all of the characters, as you go down the different routes, you're like, and what if we were girlfriend and boyfriend, and how cool would that be? And so you get to like really explore the like core nature of the characters. And yet that's cut out when it's just, all right, we've done the Kumari arc and now we are no longer a couple. It's now time for Kuragaya, and we're just going to kind of hang out and stuff. Like the emotion doesn't feel as raw as complete in those.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, Higurashi kind of forces it upon the anime because of the nature that it like intrinsically deals with repeating timelines.
No, for sure. I think if they tried to cut out the like repeating timelines elements, I think that it would have really hurt the story.
Definitely.
Because that's such a huge part of like why the events matter.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's how most people seem to pitch it. I remember J.R.R. Carter's review of Higurashi. He said like, it's the same people dying, but in different ways, was like the way that he pitches it in his review. Which is a pretty like simplistic way of looking at it, but like, it's got that Groundhog Day feel. It's got that like nihilism vibe. And I think that just by having one timeline, we'd lose all of that, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's no Endless 8, thank God. But yeah, it's a good time.
I do think that the animation is actually like better than I was expecting in the show as well. Like obviously it's still super jank and there's like that whole ladder scene, but at least it's still moving.
I suppose so.
I was afraid from what I've seen elsewhere from Dean that it was going to be like entirely static.
Sure.
And you know, maybe it still is pretty static, but the story is at least static enough that it works in the amount that it's kind of balancing out, I think.
I mean, on the same kind of flow of things, like as you say, this isn't a Fate series. Like Fate is known for having these like big epic battles and like these really eccentric like character designs, like historical figures and stuff. Higurashi doesn't really have that, and so it can get away with having a lot more like static scenes where two characters are just talking. I mean, that's what the VN is, right? Like, Urushi doesn't really write a lot of fight scenes in Higurashi until Arc 4, really. He doesn't write a lot of that sort of stuff. So we can get away with having a little less flourish, I suppose.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, I've seen clips, mainly just GIFs of, like, the J-dramas and the TV adaptations for it. And it just like...
really bland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about like the cartoony nature of the VN and of anime and I guess manga that like helps this series.
No, sure.
This like, not to say that this couldn't be done in live action, but it'd have to be like so much grittier, I think, for things to not seem just goofy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the contrast again that Dean tries to pull off. Like, they really do in the club sequences, like, take advantage of the animation. They make all of the faces look really weird and goofy and exaggerated. Like, Mion has some really fantastic faces, where her mouth is like 3/3 of her face, and her eyes are slits, and she has that like droopy, like goofy look. I really love the faces that they've drawn for that. And again, like the close-up shots during the horror segments are also like quite well done when they're not moving around a bunch. It seems like when the animation team got the chance to just like, all right, this is your one frame that you need to draw, those are great. But when they're like, we got to show frantic movement. Like they're crazy. They just cannot make that work.
Yeah. I think like it's weird because I was trying to think while you were discussing there of like any franchise I can think of that's like set in a like high school setting that takes itself appropriately seriously enough. Like I guess Stranger Things is the obvious comparison because they also have like a very similar underlying thematic.
No, for sure. I have kids and friendship and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like I think setting any story in like a high school type setting or middle school type setting, depending on what your terminology is,
sure,
is it's just like a real risky thing to play because a lot of the problems that the story deals with, I feel like people wouldn't take them as seriously with actual kids delivering it. Like the voice in your own head delivering these things kind of makes it feel more meaningful, I guess. Like obviously I think that there'd be some really outstanding actors who probably could pull it off. But when I think of like, you know, high school age dramas, I think of like fucking bullshit, you know, long running soap operas.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that we have like the appropriate child actors to pull that off. Certainly not with like a full cast. I don't know, like Stranger Things, as you say, is like a good example of that. And I hear that the first It movie that came out, I guess a couple of years ago now, was pretty good. But trying to make like a long running TV show with all child actors trying to pull off the stuff that they are in here, especially when we get to like self-harm and I don't know. It's tricky, right? Trying to get kids that young to like portray something so potentially like meaningful, I think is very tricky. But yeah, I definitely think that, I mean, it's a staple of Japanimation, saying things in high school. I remember being surprised when I saw that Golden Time, which is a similar vibe to some of these shows, was like set in college. That's crazy. Why would you set a Japanime in a college? But yeah, I definitely think that like we're at the point where Japan has solidified their brand when it comes to high school drama and high school anime. Like
I think you were also talking like back when we were covering Umineko about how
God, 3 years ago,
about well, it wasn't that long ago.
Almost.
It definitely was not.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
We're not even close.
No, we're getting there.
About
which episode?
when we were looking at how, you know, like high school, I don't remember the context of it, but that like high school was perceived in Japan as like the best time in your life or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas for a lot of people in the Western world, that's like explicitly the opposite.
The opposite, yeah. College is the best time of your life. Because that's when you have like the freedom to study what you want and you get a bit more independence. Whereas in Japan, like, I guess, I shouldn't speak for, you know, Japan culture so generally, but like, my impression is that once you get into college, that's when the responsibilities pile up. That's when the whole like work at your own thing starts to kick in. You know, maybe I'm wrong. People tell us in the comments. We're having a good time rambling here, but some questions we cannot answer on our own.
All right. Well, on to Tatari Goroshi.
Tutaru.
Next time.